Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Ansire and we're down to the last topic for Module 3, readability and readability formulas. As a refresher, let's discuss what is readability. What is readability? It is the relative understandability of a piece of written material. A simple way to tell if something is readable is if you can understand a material after reading it in just one pass. So there are ways or methods in which you can measure readability of written materials or text, and might be some debates about the usefulness of it, particularly the readability formulas. How, but its usage lies on the measuring or indicating the level of difficulty of a written text. It is according to a scale like a school grade level scale or a college grade level that is needed to understand the texts. But these formulas are not designed to measure the quality of writing. According to Robert Gunning, who's the proponent of Gunning Facts Index that we will be discussing later, it is this type of formula will serve as a guide after you have written a text, and eventually you can learn how to make good writing alive and not kill it with the system. Oops. So one of the famous measurement for readability is the Gunning Fug Index. It can be computed in three simple steps. Step 1. At random, choose any passage from a work under study, use a random start, then count around 100 words. Stop the sentence count with the sentence nearest the 100th word, but not more than 100. Next, you divide the total number of words in the passage with the number of sentences. This gives you the average sentence length of the passage. Remember, count only one decimal place. Don't round off the numbers. So let's take this as an example. It is turning into an anxious Christmas season in Austria after a letter bomb exploded in the capital last week. Residents were warned to be wary as they opened greeting cards and other mail. Though no one has claimed responsibility, authorities believe the bomb was the work of a right-wing nationalist group called the Bajawarian Liberation Army. The letter was addressed to Lotte Ingrish, stepmother of Interior Minister Casper Inem, who has been criticized by the right for a big soft on immigration restrictions. The packet never made it to English but was delivered instead to the return address of Vienna Astrology Association. The unusual shape of the envelope aroused the suspicion of the office manager, who summoned the police. The bomb exploded as they attempted to defuse it, slightly injuring one officer. The BLA has admitted sending more than a score of letter bombs over the past 3 years. So notice that we stop the sentence count at the word restrictions because it is nearest to the 100 word total without going over, as you can see here in the passage below. And I also bolded the text or the bolded the word restrictions. So this is the 83rd word, which is also the nearest to the 100th word. As you can see here, the word a or the linking verb a. And it is indicated here that it is in 100 word as you can see here in the passage there is 100 symbol here below the linking verb a. And right wing is a compound word, work of a right wing nationalist group. So the word right wing is a compound word and we do not count it as two words, we count it as a single word. Now, according to the step 1 rules, we need to um, identify for identify first the number of words, which is 83, and the 83rd word is the restriction, right? The word restriction. And out from that, the number of sentence in the passage is 4, including the word restriction. So let's start. It is turning to an anxious Christmas season in Austria. There's a first word, first sentence, sorry, and then the second sentence. And then second sentence is after a letter bomb exploded up until the other mail. The third sentence is though no one has claimed responsibility to until the Bajawarian Liberation Army. That's the third sentence. And the fourth sentence is the letter was addressed to Lotte English up into the word restrictions. So we have a total of 4 sentences. And now we're going to do the maths. So so that we can understand or we will know the average sentence length, we will going to divide the number of words by the number of sentence. So the number of sentences, which is 4. So we have here 83 divided by 4, we have 20.75. Now, 20.75, where does it land here in our scale? So we have here in the left part the reading scale and the average sentence length. So in every reading scale or in every sentence length, there is an, an there's an equal scale or equal measurement for it. If it's 8 words or less, we have very easy, 11 for easy, 14 or less, fairly easy, so on and so forth. So with the 20.75 average sentence count, this means the passage lands between average or standard, fairly difficult to difficult. Now we have here the step 2. In the passage again, limit your counting to the sentences you earmarked in the first step. Count the number of words and the 3 syllables with 3 syllables or more. So don't count words that are first names or proper nouns, combinations of two short easy words like bookkeeper, butterfly, or countersign, and verb forms made 3 syllables by adding ing, ed, or es like created or trespasses. Also, count all the figures, numerals as one word, and numbers that are spelled out as separate words. This gives you the number of difficult words in the passage. Now we have here the example with the same passage. And after reading, we have here 9 difficult words. So we didn't count the proper nouns or names like Pajuarian, and we also didn't count the word stepmother because it is a combination of two short and easy words like step and mother. So we don't include it in the difficult words. However, we did count the word criticized, even if it ends with an ed because the root word is criticize. All right. So it just added like with an ed. So as you can see here, these are the 9 difficult words out from these passages. So why is it that these are difficult words? There are similarities for these 9 words. First, capital. Capital. There are 3 syllables. Residence, responsibility, authorities, nationalist, envelope, criticized, immigration, restriction. So the similarities is that they have more than 3 syllables for these difficult words. Now step 3. To get the fog index, add the number of words per sentence, which we did in step 1, the total number of difficult words, which is what we did in step 2, then multiply the sum by 0.4. Then interpret the resulting number by consulting the fog index table. So here's the fog index table. We have here difficult, fairly easy. We have the fog index, the numbers, by grade, which type of reading skill it is equated to, and by magazine. So we are going to summarize the figures that we got. So for example, the number of words that we had earlier in step 1 as what we did, we counted the words and the sentences, and the nearest to the 100th is the word restriction, and it's the 83rd word. So the number of words we have is 83. And out from those passage, we have the number of sentences 4. Average sentence length is equal to 20.75, what we did in step 1. So the formula is that we're going to divide the number of words and number of sentences, 83 divided by 4, and we got 20.75. Now we add something, or we add the number of difficult words in the passage, which is 9, and this is what we did in the step 2. So to get the fog index, we're going to add our step 1 and the number of difficult words that we did in step 2. Then we multiply it with the constant 0.4. So now the fog index is 20.7 plus 9, which is the number of difficult words, times zero point 0.4 is equal to 11.88. Now, where does 11.88 stands in the fog index table? So, according to this, it is fairly. The, the sentence, the difficulty of a text or the passage is fairly. It's in the fog index of 11, fog index number of 11, and it's equated to fairly, or in by grade it is a high school junior type of skill, and by magazine it can be equated to reader's digest. So I hope you learned something out from the fog index table. Um, it's about learning and measuring the difficulty of a text, and those were the top three. I mean the steps on how you can measure these these passage or the difficulty of a text. So right now I'm going to give you a summary of the whole module. So first we're going to think first then write. Now you have to have a careful planning before writing. You have ensures idea are clear and organized. Use simple, short, and familiar words. Get straight to the point. Use specific concrete language. Avoid using jargon or too many technical terms. Be careful in using idioms. Keep your paragraphs short. Improve readability and reader engagement. Arrange your material logically. Logical organizations guides readers smoothly through the text. And strive for a smooth flow of ideas. Smooth transition to help connect ideas carefully. Review your grammar. Correct grammar maintains clarity and credibility. Revise and sharpen. Revising refines the message and eliminates unnecessary clutter. So that's the end of Module 3. Here's my references, and thank you very much for listening.